Callista is no longer as strong as she used to be.
Absolutely.
Now, with that said, what is there to say that Camellias may not get the same treatment?
That Camille won't?
Camille.
Well, I don't know. She may get the same treatment. We just don't know what we can do to counter her, and even if she needs to be countered until she gets released, there's just not enough information about her yet. All we know is her kit. We can only theorize how she plays out in lane, etc.
Exactly. So with that said, while Camilla may receive some, nerfs, there's a good chance Akali might actually receive a buff. Now, let's actually get into the discussion about Akali and Camille.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna actually let you start this off real quick, Frost, because I'm pretty sure you have more things about Akali than I do, and probably a little bit on Camille, because I haven't really got a chance to read what she's all about.
Okay. Well, we've kind of already went over the topic of me initially being annoyed by Camille, considering, it kind of seems like she goes against the whole Assassin update with her being easy, casual, point and click that basically locks down an ADC, and the Assassin update was just there to kind of help people who don't know how to position by nerfing Assassins, nerfing mobility, nerfing stealth, etc. So that was my initial complaint with Camille, is that she just goes against the whole Assassin update. But we had a really good talk about that earlier, and I kind of don't have that opinion as much anymore. I'm still annoyed that they're releasing this really cool champion with all these really cool tools and stuff in a point-and-click lockdown while Akali is still in the gutter, but still.
Yeah, I believe in that as well. But if you don't mind me pulling out some discussions from other gaming topics about Camille. So from what I see from your perspective, I understand, because when I look back into the fighting game community, when we get into Smash, there's a character on there that if any of you may know as Bayonetta. She seems like she's kind of in the same boat as Camille, where when she was released, she was pretty much in a broken standard state, and everyone didn't like her. So when I think about that and I look at Camille, I'm just like, there are still some things you could technically beat her in that she can't really do. Now, I will agree that when you say Camille is actually, kind of an easy champion, well, let's think about it like this. New champion just came out, she's an assassin, and right now the current assassins that are reworked are slightly hard besides Kha'Zix. Now, from that debate, I just want to make it kind of maybe Camille was out for people who actually want to try to get to assassins, for the new players.
That's a possibility, of course. But aren't there already easy to play assassins?
That is true, actually. But do most of the assassins technically have most of what she has?
Most assassins have.
It's, to me, when I see. Oh, go ahead.
What I was gonna say is, from what I'm seeing, Camille has most of what some assassins have, and more. Most assassins don't have true damage. Most assassins can't just dive the backline with a click of a button. But of course, other assassins have more useful tools, like some might have more CC, some might have more hard bursts, so I don't know.
Well, let me put it in this way. There are probably more champions out there that probably does have the kid that's getting into the backline. I haven't really played much besides Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is fairly good at getting into the backline with his ultimate, putting him invisible. But when you look at Camille, when she tries to get into the backline, remember, it's not like she's untargetable. You can still hit her. And not to mention, you do have some champions that technically counter her when she tries to get in the backline. Because remember, she has to grab onto that ledge and actually jump towards your way. So,
well, yeah.
My debate about that really is, she's a good champion of learning of how to get into the backlines and also how to be careful on how you actually do it. While Kha'Zix is also the same way.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. It's just, in higher ELOs, champions become harder. And with Camille, I don't personally think Camille's going to be that good at higher ELOs, because in order to have Camille dive into the backline, which isn't that ultimately her goal, she's going to have to get through the front line. Now, assassins like Zed and Akali don't really have that issue as much, or at least old Akali. But If Riot's trying to get people into Assassins, then why would they just nerf the whole Assassins class before releasing Camille? Like, that doesn't make Assassins seem appealing, you know what I mean?
Well, remember how we were just talking about how some things are planned out before, like, you know, the updates and like what they announced, like, happen, right?
Well, true, yeah.
Some things are legitimately just planned out like that, which is why I can't really get on the case about it. But I can get on the case about what they did do to Akali. I really believe they should have just kept Akali where she was, just maybe changed like one of her abilities a little bit, that's all. Because honestly, Akali got a nerf that she did not, you know, deserve. She did not really deserve to be gutted as hard as she was. I do agree that there was needed for a slight nerf, but not this hard of a nerf. And as I was saying earlier, they're just, you know, they're just kind of looked at Akali just like, oh hey, this champion, we're gonna rework this champion technically, right?
Yeah.
So when they say they're gonna rework the champion, I don't think they really intended of nerfing her that hard. But then again, I don't know who's in charge of, you know, her legit, you know, updates or anything. Which I believe you probably told me, but I probably can't remember.
Right, Reckless Abandon.
Reckless Abandon. Alright.
But yeah. What are you gonna say?
Well, what I was about to say is, regardless of, you know, the assassins getting nerfed, there are actually quite a few assassins that got buffed. So when we talk about this, we actually have to think about the other assassins. Wouldn't that mean that they also kind of break the laws of what they just said they were going to do?
Possibly.
Like Kha'Zix, for example. He can burst you within 2 shots of his Q if you're alone.
Absolutely.
And then we technically still have Fist. Technically still the same way, you know, the little trickster assassin who technically, if you land your fist on them, you can pretty much just 2-hit combo them.
I was just thinking about Fizz as well, how his every time it gets bigger.
Sorry.
Every time you use it now, it gets bigger. So technically, if you can manage to land, be a big benefit to winning a game with that assassin. That's just one of the ways you can buff an assassin, as well as many of the nerfs that has happened.
Sure.
Well, yeah.
And then let's also not forget Evelyn. Evelyn is in an incredibly overpowered state when she gets like that first blood. Like if she gets like 1 kill, she's able to get that 1 AP item or 1 AD item. She can technically just come into your backline and take out your whole, well, I wouldn't say your whole team, but your squishies.
Yeah, she is in a really
Evelyn is definitely a champion that can one-shot a team of mediocre health champions. If they're low on health, or even if their maximum health is just overall squishy, ADCs, mid laners mainly, top laners, and junglers are the only exceptions that are usually the ones that survive. But Evelyn's are, right now, one of the most broken champions in the game.
Yeah,
sure.
She's very strong.
And then when we think about that, who's to say that later on through the year that these champions won't get nerfed or Akali getting put back to where she was? My whole point is, for most of the Akali mains, do not fret, because remember, or not at least remember, but we can only hope that later in the year that she'll probably get buffed. No, there's a possibility she will get buffed as she gets reworked, I believe. So
that's a possibility.
I believe because I do believe, carrying my friend here, Frostfyre, aka Logan, receiving or at least telling me that Akali will be getting some type of rework. And if that's the case, well, let's not throw in the towel just yet. There's a chance she'll come back, you know, at her prime, maybe even stronger. So with that said, when we think about all these champions right now, Akali may have a better chance of actually getting back over these assassins again.
Of course, that's a possibility, but it's absolutely less of a possibility with the changes that have already went through. Right, Reckless Abandon's design philosophy is kind of the same philosophy of the Assassin update in general. Most of the Assassin update. Delaying the front load damage of her burst and other assassins, and that's the biggest issue Akali faces right now. Currently, her ultimate isn't an ultimate, it's a glorified gap closer, and until she gets her front load burst back, she's just not going to do shit. And I don't think they're going to really bring back her front load burst unless they either revert the changes or just get someone else to work on her. So, it's very difficult for Akali to really come back unless they buff her goddamn ultimate. Which they're very reluctant to do, which is why I am slowly losing hope.
I'd say don't lose hope, my friend, because, you know, there's only so long you can ignore all of these, you know, complaints. So, unless he wants to stand there to, like, legitimately be blown up, I'm pretty sure he's going to do something about it. But if he doesn't, then I can't defend him, man. I don't know him, and, like, I've never really heard of him until just now.
Yeah, it's a really unfortunate state, but the thing is, Akali mains, we're just a very small minority. Akali hasn't been a relevant champion for 2 years, since like season 3 to 4, I believe. And there are only like 1,000 of us. So what are 1,000 people gonna do to write fucking multi-billion-dollar company games? We are in the thousands and they're in the millions, and we haven't really successfully gotten our voices heard yet, because Riot Rickless is just plugging his ears, basically.
I guess, but I would still say don't lose hope.
Well, do you mind if I voice another concern about Akali?
Sure, why not?
I'm fucking horrified, frankly, that she's gonna get the Poppy treatment. They're gonna turn her into a bruiser. She's already became more of a bruiser than she used to be because her AP build doesn't really work anymore. She just has to rely on the small amount of AP she gets from Gunblade and then build tank from there if you want to see real hard success and higher ELOs. And I'm scared that they're just gonna make her into a bruiser with some form of CC when she gets reworked mid-2017.
A bruiser with CC or mid CC. Honestly, if you ask me, that doesn't sound all too bad. But the besides the possibility of actually losing your damage, but when you think about it like this, Akali gets reworked. She becomes technically a new juggernaut of some sort. She still could technically, you know, be kind of like a Lace, where you build AP tank and you technically deal a shit ton of damage. It's actually terrifying, but at the cost of something. And I'd say that cost would probably be her damage, which what you were saying that you were afraid to technically lose, right?
Yeah.
So what if they did do that and they actually traded out that that damage with a form of CC?
Well, honestly, I think I can speak on behalf of almost all Akali mains. We just fucking give up. It's bad enough that they nerfed her damages. If they took any more damage out of her kit, then why would you just can't consider Akali an assassin anymore. The Akali mains play Akali because of her crazy damage, and I mean, it might be cool for people who don't play Akali. They'll have a new bruiser to toy with, but the Akali mains will just be fucking shoved out.
Also, just to quickly throw this out there, this is just a debate, or not a debate, more of a, you know, talk of the possibilities of what would happen if she changed from assassins.
Rant, yeah. If you would.
Yeah, Rant, that's the close enough definition.
So with that said, this is just what I think and what Frost think and what Joker thinks.
Pretty much.
And
so
going back on other different assassins, how about we go on a discussion about what possible nerfs or buffs we can see League doing in the future with the assassins, since they just recently went to a rework.
Yeah, we'll probably leave that for like the last discussion. But actually, since you actually said that, that reminds me, Rengar can technically go tanky, right, and still do a lot of damage.
If you get that.
So, Black Saber, Titanic Hydra, probably.
What I was about to say is, what if Akali could be in the same boat as that? She could be just like, she could be an assassin that technically could go tank and deal a turn of burst.
Well,
I could see in a tanky Akali with spell ramp and life steal, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's been built like that before, where you just go Gunblade into full tank, and that's a possibility. I mean, that's kind of how you have to build her right now, because she doesn't have enough damage, but... Akali mains hate the tank build. They always have. If you go to the Akali main subreddit, if you hover over the tab, it literally says, please no more tank Akali. So yeah, it might be fun for casuals, but Akali mains just don't like bruiser/tank Akali, and it's just disheartening because it seems like that's the way Riot's trying to go.
So it's all about the assassin. It's all about the go in real quick,
it's all about
do your damage, get out.
It's all about
essentially
being a
how
fucking
can we
ninja.
revive? Okay, so it's technically how can Riot revive Akali for how she is right now? Technically,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get into a quick discussion about that then.
I can tell you
From
how
what
right
I'm
now.
hearing. Oh, go ahead.
All right.
Ears.
I can give you 3 ways to bring Akali back to how she used to be, and it's just this simple. Revert the order of her passive to where you deal damage first, and then heal later, when you're above 50% HP. Make it to where she gets Old Shroud back, but you can cast a Blink when in the Shroud, and buff her ultimate. Don't buff the base damage, but gives it a 0.8 AP ratio, instead of 0.25. This will stop tank builds from happening, because less base damage, and encourage people to build AP Glass Cannon Akali, which is what the mains like doing. That is how you fix Akali.
Oh, actually, I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with that. Not at all. Because yeah, you know, I from what I'm seeing, Akali back in the day, she was never really just the auto attack based champion. You know, the only time when I really saw her auto attack was when she threw her Q, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's her Q, her commas. Or her fan strike.
And let me tell you, that was not fun taking it into the face. But you know what? That's what made Akali fun. And you know, when that's just kind of gone, it kind of makes it hard for her. So I can definitely see that technically getting back buffed. You know.
Yeah.
So what I could see happening to Akali, or well, okay. Trigger warning for all Akali mains.
Okay.
What I could technically see happening to Akali, quick thing, just one quick thing. Her passive needs to be reverted back to the old one if it's not already.
Yeah. It needs changes.
Her Q, once you get the proc off, could deal a little less than what it used to. Hey, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
It's fun to proc it off, but it can be very unhealthy.
Yes, because it's consistent poke during laning phase.
Her Shroud, it could technically stay how it used to be, but you know, you should be able to still detect her because she's not technically invisible. She is camouflaged.
Yeah.
So she should still be spottable inside of it. Now, I can only understand that if she has like a legit ability that allows her to turn invisible.
Okay.
With that said, that might be the trigger warning there. Actually, wait, hold on. I skipped her E, but that's because I don't really find much wrong with her E.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm probably just going to leave that how it is for her ultimate. I kind of miss where she had a bigger range on her ultimate, to be fair.
Absolutely.
Or to be honest. So I think that should kind of be reverted to before they reduce the range of it.
Yeah, bring it back to 800 range.
That's about my only changes that I would want. I know the W's kind of probably sounds a little, unreasonable, but because of the person I am, and when I hear invisible, I actually think of something that actually goes invisible. It should be invisible over something that's shrouded in clouds would be camouflage.
Fair enough.
Which is why I'm still technically wondering why Kha'Zix gets to have an invisibility while Rengar's camouflage. When Kha'Zix is a bug that camouflage while Rengar is the one that technically can go invisible.
I don't fucking know.
But with that said, that's practically all I have to say about that. James, if you have any ideas, and before
Isn't the Rengar ult now technically a camouflage?
yeah, it's camouflage, and Cosmos is technically still remained as invisibility.
Because before you could run up to somebody as Rengar and stand next to them and they wouldn't be able to see you. Now, whenever you do that, and you ult next to somebody, they can clear as day see you there.
Yep. That is a change.
And just to say one more thing to the viewers, mind that our Rant was kind of confusing at the beginning because we did get done, you know, discussing about some other things before we could like actually get into the discussion of what we really wanted. So we're pretty much gonna probably make up for that in the next video.
Yeah.
If that's cool with Frostfyre.
Well, of course, I'm okay with spamming as many videos as I can. I am already lacking on producing content as is.
Content.
Yeah.
So with all that, I really do apologize for the random, you know, conversation we did have, or the rant we did have earlier at the beginning of the video. So I will say that.
Fair enough.
So actually, yo, hold on. I want you to edit the beginning when I fucked up my words. Please do it.
Okay, I'll do it.
And before English.
I'll just play that one clip from that fucking video of you going. I didn't know this was Bulgaria.
Anywho, what kind of champions would you guys, you know, want to see change, and what do you want to be reverted?
Remove Yasuo from the game.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm completely kidding.
Oh my god,
I
let's do Nick a huge favor and get rid of something that doesn't need to be you know.
Yeah.
You know.
The biggest issue is Yasuo being on your team because you know he's gonna go 3-12 with the first item PD.
Right back. I gotta go grab me some bleach and like a tall glass of. Well, just a tall glass. I need to drink that.
All right, man. Hey, can you like ship some down to Cali too, man? I'm getting a bit thirsty.
Nah, man. I'll just leave you a rope and there you go.
All right, that's good enough. Hopefully the ceiling doesn't break.
So while we're also at this, so how about that Elementalist Select Stone?
Ew.
Yo, I just updated my client.
Well, it's about to get ready and go through maintenance again, so I'm pretty sure this is probably the end of the video.
Probably.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, if Frost has something else to say, then say it.
Well, I only have one other thing to say, and that is spread the message about Akali. This is the only thing we can do, is just raise awareness. Even if it's just a post on the forums, get Riot to listen, because if you spam them enough, they will eventually listen, okay? So that's all. And, wait, one last thing. Alright, hold up. Make Akali great again. Thanks for watching!